gosh, I turned on the laser pointer. Never mind. Okay. Hey, this is neat. All right. So, welcome to our final day of persuasion notes. This is part 5. This is our final thing. This is the last thing that we will be looking at in notes as a class in general. The next time that we talk about the notes is going to be for preparing for the final exam. And so that being said, we talked about developing a speech to persuade yesterday. We talked about how you want to be purposeful with your audience. You want to think about who you're talking to, where you're talking to, and why you're talking to them. You want to be conscious of those things before you create your speech. You also want to use a pattern that is going to be most helpful for you. Okay, so that's what we talked about yesterday. Today is all about the motivational sequence. I also refer to this as the commercial method because most commercials use the motivated sequence just to kind of get their point across. Okay, and with my trusty laser pointer, let's see what ends up happening with this. This is neat. All right, so the motivated sequence. It has nothing to do with the motivated chant, but it is still fun. Okay, it was developed by Alan Monroe and Douglas Enninger, and there are 5. How many? 5 different steps to it. The first one is the attention step. So the reason why I compare a lot of commercials to this is only for the fact that you see quite a bit of commercials use this. So the first thing that they do is get the audience's attention. So obviously we want to have an attention getter in our speech anyway. So using the motivated sequence, you start with the attention. You get an attention getter so that you can alert your audience. Usually in commercials, it'll like switch like a black and white filter, and you see someone like cutting something, but they're cutting it so horribly that there's no way they've ever used a knife before in human existence. And they're like, has this ever happened to you? You're trying to make a panini, but then you put it in the oven and it turns into a panoni. Like, no, it's not like that, right? But essentially, they do something like that to get the audience's attention. The next thing they do, though, is talk about the needs step. I'm glad you liked panoni. All right. So with the need step, this is where you show your audience what needs they are missing. Okay, we already talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need food, water, warmth, shelter, self-esteem, friendship, all that good stuff, right? So you're going to highlight one of those needs, and then you are going to give your audience this message that they need this need or they have this need. And it comes in the form of a problem, and it should be a relatable problem. It should be relevant to them, right? So in the case of the commercial that I was talking about, everyone likes to cook unless they don't. If you don't like to cook, you can say, do you not like to cook? Has this ever happened to you? You try to make spaghetti and meatballs and spaghetti and geek balls because they're not good. Okay, I'm done with the puns, I promise. But in the case of this, you are relating to your audience and showing them that they have a need for what you're talking about. The next one is the satisfaction step. After you give them a need, tell them how to satisfy the need. Tell them the behavior they have to change. Give them a plan on how to change it. Spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, that's what I said, Anya. But another example of this. Oh, you didn't hear it? Good. It's good you didn't hear it. But an example of the satisfaction step. If you have an annuity and you need cash now, what do you do?
I call them.
Who do you call?
877. 877 cash now.
Yep, call 877 cash now, right? If you have an annuity and you need cash now, call JG Wentworth 877 cash now, right? So, like I said, commercials use this stuff all the time, right? So they kind of highlight the need, they get your attention, and they tell you that it can be satisfied by doing this specific thing. I'm Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. I'm tough. I fight on crime. Let me fight for you. And then he has like a number, and there's the other guys like the 444, 444, 444 guy. But yeah, all of these are using the motivated sequence. It gets your attention, it gives you a need, and then it gives you a satisfaction step. You can be satisfied if you do this thing that they are telling you to do. Next, we have the visualization step. Now, some commercials don't have this, right? But there will be like, in the black and white filter, the person's cutting whatever food that they're cutting, and then they get this new product, and then it shows, and then it's like color, and everything's great, and the person's husband is in the shot for some reason, and the kids walk in, and James got an A on his test. Good job, James. And then you go to the ballet recital for some reason. But yeah, so it visualizes how great your life is after that need is satisfied, right? You help the audience understand how the solution works. You use analogies, and you give examples of how the solution has worked in the past. So meet John. He used to think that there was no such thing as spaghetti and meatballs, but now after trying this brand new cooking thing. I can't even think of like a funny joke anymore. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. This isn't me phoning it in. I was gonna say spaghetti and street balls, but it just doesn't. Thank you, Matt.
People.
Thank you. But like I couldn't come up with a setup fast enough. But yeah, either way.
I like that.
So you highlight a need for your audience. You tell them it can be satisfied. Then you have them visualize what it looks like once that need is satisfied. And then the final thing is the action step. Tell the audiences how to implement the solution. This gives the audience a way to carry through with the solution. So yeah, they tell you to call 877 cash now, but now you actually do it. And at the end of their commercial, they say call now. So yeah, any infomercial. I wanted to use flex tape because it's perfect, and it's an amazing meme. It's so good. Like, it's I wish that I could. Whoever came up with that is a genius. Like that is the best marketing campaign in the 2010s. I will not be taking any dissenting opinions. Flex tape is a perfect commercial. The original one, I saw a boat in half. Like, no, it's insane. All of those commercials are amazing, and Phil Swift is great. But in terms of this, like all of these infomercials, they go through these steps so quickly. They get your attention, then they highlight the need, then they show you what the satisfaction looks like. They have you visualize it, and then they give you an action to do so. Now, Mr. Smith, does this only work for commercials? Absolutely not. If you are talking about if you are talking about like a policy or this is like a politician speaking, they might talk about, they get your attention with like a problem. They turn that problem into a need that we have as a country. Then they tell you that the satisfaction can be accomplished if you do this, if you pass this bill, if we sign this law, if we do this, if we elect this person, we vote for this person. So it's going to kind of give them that satisfaction. Then you have them visualize it through, well, in the past when we passed this law, this happened. And then when we did this also happened. And so you're able to kind of use that. And then the action step, make sure that on May 1st you vote, or make sure that whatever you do, you vote. And again, just vote. This isn't me getting political. This is just me giving you general advice. Vote. It's important. It's very, very, very important. Politics are very stupid, but they're the most important thing in the world. That's it. And that's it for our notes. I know that they were a little rushed, and this was a kind of weird last final note to go on with spaghetti and yeet street balls and panonis. But I'm kind of proud of those puns, and I'm going to stand by them because I think that that's what good comedy is. But that being said, guys, that is it for our notes. Well done. You're a great audience. Thanks for not being crazy. I'll see you next time.